Yes, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Bootcast podcast. My name is Colby. I'm your host, along with my co-host, Matt Burns Boots. Matt,
What's up?
how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. It is cold as fuck here right now, but otherwise I'm doing very good.
Yeah. Um, as you guys can see, Justin is not on this podcast, but he will be joining us in the next podcast. Life happens, Matt, and I'm fresh out from my indoor game, dude. Where, like old man style, I forgot to take my blood pressure medication this morning, and so I'm out there like, fuck, I don't feel good. Like, I remembered at work, but I was like, I'm not gonna take my medication now. Like, it's 12 hours, or not 12 hours, but it was like hours after I was supposed to take it. And
Yeah.
we still won the game, but like I felt like shit. I was like, I feel like I should go home and fall asleep, but I'm here, so we're good.
Love it.
Matt, Justin's normally here, and he normally guides us on the podcast. We're gonna be guiding each other. And I want to start somewhere where Justin's actually been talking a lot about Phantom Sixes.
Yes, Phantom
Finally
6.
came in.
Tell me all about it. How many times have you worn it to start so far?
Not much, to be honest with you. I wore it in a pickup like 2 weeks ago, only because this weekend my son had a tournament, and this is a good thing, but we always make it to the final, and so that just interferes with pickup time. So I've only worn these once, but so far so good. I need to break them in a little bit more. I would still argue that the SKX is better, in my opinion,
Okay.
and dude, you can actually see, because this is something that I kind of had hang up with. The heels, like if you want to look at how much bigger
Damn. Yeah.
that Phantom heel is than the SKX.
Yeah. It's weird because it's like towards the lacing system, it seems pretty much the same, but it's almost like the Phantoms are like a U and the Skechers are a V.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
if Justin were here, he'd be screaming at me, being like, "I told you to get the high. Like I told
Yeah,
you to
he
get the
would.
high.
Yeah.
That's the way to go." And I know he loves his like Fear Nothing pack, but dude, I have enough trouble getting these on my feet. Like for some reason,
That's fair.
like I literally like it's just one of those like where you stick your heels so far in, like this starts to kind of creep in. You gotta tuck it back out. But they're good boots. I did some good things in them. I did some bad things in them. I switched back over to my SKX because like I'd fucked something up trying to do a move or whatever on the line, and went back to these. The sole plate is actually better on the Skechers AG, and from watching James on the Football Boot Hour,
I know.
talking about how much lighter in these. But it's also stiffer. It's stiffer than the Nike AG. But these are still pretty.
Which I kind of like that. I know James has a second pair of AG SKX2s, so I am more and more getting talked into it, and so we'll see. James, if those are still available, reach out to me.
Yeah. I feel like at this point it's one of those like are you gonna be one of these guys that gets kind of suckered into buying from Metasport and getting that tariff, slap with that tariff? Because I feel like
I'm
a lot of
trying
our
not
friends,
to.
yeah, because it happened
Like-
to me and it's happened to everybody that bought the F50 remakes.
Yeah. Like before, I was a huge Unisport advocate. Like I didn't mind that it took a little bit longer. Honestly, in some cases, it took faster, or went faster than other retailers that shall not be named. But yeah, the tariff thing is just like such a
Yeah.
shit show right now.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to like be okay with it, especially when it's upwards of like $100 sometimes. So it does suck. I wish it wasn't like that because I would continue to buy from Unisport because I do. They have stuff most other retailers don't have a lot of the times, like AG models for specific boots that may not be available in the United States, like these Skechers. But right now, I don't know what it is, but the Skechers aren't available in the United States for some crazy weird reason.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see. I might give it a little bit more time to see if I can pick them up, here without a tariff. But I don't know. It's getting harder and harder to not
Yeah.
just like justify it.
I think, yeah, I would hold out just a little bit longer because, like, I know Justin and I are trying to talk you into a pair of Phantom Six. I just want to know
Yeah.
what you think about these because I think the length for you, I think you'd really like how tight these were to your toes because they really do, like, compared to the GX2, they really come back. And from what I remember, because I had the Fear Nothings for like 5 seconds, These, and James explained this in one of his videos too. Go check him out at Boot Wizard. But I believe this is a little bit wider just because of the AG sole plate, and it might be tapered even closer to, like pulled back closer to the toe. So I liked it. I thought it was Nike always fit my feet. Like if it's one of the true to size Nikes and not one of like the older Phantoms that runs a little bit long, it's usually perfect for my feet.
Yeah, yeah. And I really think once there's a colorway that doesn't suck, that comes in AG, that also potentially comes in high, I think I might go that route just so I could be like the one boot. Then we all tried a different version of the Phantom, you know what I mean? Because you have the low AG, Justin has the low FG, and then I'd have the high AG. So we'd all have different variations.
The weird thing is, and we haven't really talked about this, but this max voltage looks much better in person. Like it
100%. Yep.
It looks kind of gross on like on a wet pitch. Like if you're watching the Premier League and you're watching like some of the players, you're like, oh god, you know, like you're watching Holland and them. It's like, yeah, it's cool, but I don't know if that looked good. Like in person looks 10 times better. And I think I would have been someone to go high just because of what Justin's been talking about if they had made the high in AG. So hopefully that's not something they just only did on that launch pair.
Yeah, that would suck if they just continue to not do AG on the high, because I think a lot of people, yes, I understand why they would do that because the lower or the low variation has been more popular, but with what all the reviews are saying, the highs are a better fit. So I would really I honestly want to try those. And speaking of that max voltage, I completely agree. So much better in person. My cousin got a pair for everyone that's watching. So I've seen them in person as well, and they do look a lot cleaner, I guess I would say, in person versus the pictures.
Yeah, definitely. Matt, something I want to talk about today and something that got released. We're recording on a weird day. We normally do Monday. We weren't able to get to do Monday, and now we're here on Tuesday, and Unisport has released their Puma Vikings pack, which, if you guys have been following the boot world, we had a Puma King release recently, or I wouldn't say release. There's a few people that have it in our group, and LJ's posted videos of the what is supposed to be the new sort of, I guess, launch colorway of the Puma King, which is kind of like the I don't know if there's a name for the pack. It's kind of like Long Live the King, I believe, was like utilized on it, but it looks very good. Like this version of the King looks very good, and I've been very excited to try it. Unfortunately, like it hasn't been mass released yet. And so when Unisport came out today with this pack, I was kind of expecting that same King, and we kind of have the older version. So I kind of want to hear what your thoughts are on this. Like, and it's not a bad looking boot. Like you have like a clean kind of white, like brownish, like design on the inside, like kind of like some Viking looking inscriptions. So just kind of give me your opinion on this pack, on the King being kind of the current gen as opposed to something that we've already seen from the future gen.
Yeah. All respect to Unisport. We've already heard that this pack was supposed to release a little bit earlier in the year. Classic Puma delays and everything. And I think if this did release earlier in the year, people would have been more pumped up. It would have been probably would have done better performance wise. The fact that this particular King in the old variation looks awfully similar to the already leaked next gen King is just going to completely cannibalize it. Yeah. Because anyone that has seen the next gen King is just going to wait the week or so that it's going to take to release that boot to get it. So unfortunately, that sucks for this pack because, to be completely honest with you, probably one of the better packs and probably one of the better collaborations with Unisport that they've had. But yeah, it's also with Puma. A lot of the Puma boots period right now are either thousands and thousands of the colorways that people are sick of, or they're just not good boots. So the only good boot currently is probably the Ultra. A lot of people, especially me, hate the Future 8. Yep. The current King, I wouldn't say is terrible, but it's definitely not great. and needs a lot of improvement, which so far, based on what we've seen with this updated variation, looks like they have made the improvements, but we just won't
Hmm.
know until we get more information. So yeah, it's really tough to like this pack because I do feel like it's going to like a similar situation that we've recently seen with the football gal Predator, where it's
Hmm.
like, yes, some of these look fantastic, but I think a lot of people, especially this year with how many releases there have been, are just tired. They're
Yeah.
tired of boots, they're tired of colorways. We have people now that like aren't boot nerds that are like, why are there so many colorways? Like what's going on?
Yeah.
And obviously like the sales are kind of like proving that there's too much kind of saturation in the market. We've seen now probably for 3 months straight 30 to 25% off sales of most retailers
Hmm.
for anything that was more than a month old. So stuff isn't selling, people aren't buying, and we've had the most fucking colorways that we've ever had for cleats. So it's a
Yeah.
weird time.
No, I definitely agree, man. And like to your point, like the only good boot Puma probably has right now is the Ultra. And to be honest with you, like this Ultra looks pretty cool. Like the
Yeah.
like light blue sole plate, kind of iridescent style, like the graphics, the gray blue colorway together looks very good. Honestly, like, the future in this in this pack
Probably the worst.
is definitely the worst. It's
Yeah.
they can't. This is the other thing about the future. It's like they can't get that boot right. The only one that's looked good to me, of course, has been like the white out silver one. But I'm just
Yeah.
like at a certain point, I'm just like, God dang, like what? I don't understand because I feel like Puma used to do some pretty cool, unique colorways, and every
Hmm.
single like limited release to me of the future has just been garbage. Like I can't. Um,
Yeah.
but Matt, like kind of outside this Unisport pack and to kind of bring us back to the I don't even want to say it's a leak because it's like an actual release of what we know is going to be the next gen Puma King.
Yep.
Dude, I'm very excited. And I kind of so where we've been in my opinion in 2024 and in 2025 has kind of been this like battle of the control boots, and I feel like
Hmm.
those are the boots that have been in the forefront. And you can argue that like yeah, we've had the re-release of the F50 in 2024 and Vapor 16, but really I feel like it's been about the Predator, potentially like the GX2, and
Hmm.
now it's kind of like Pred 25, Phantom 6. You know what I mean? Like I would say like those are kind of like the ones that are piquing the people's interest the most.
Yeah.
And with the switch over into 2026, I think it's going to be, and we'll talk about the next gen Tiempo, the Tiempo Maestro, um, the King, the Tiempo, and maybe even in third place is going to be Copa, right?
Yep.
And we've seen a lot of pictures now of multiple professionals that don't normally wear Tiempo. They wear Phantoms or Vapors, and they're in these new disguised Tiempo. It's gonna take me a minute. Tiempo Maestros.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? What do you think of like the boots, kind of like this whiteout disguise, the sole plate? What's your take on it?
Yeah. I know that Justin is going to rewatch this and hate every fucking second of this. But I do agree with you. I do think going into 2026, we're going to see kind of a resurgence of control, like quote unquote leather type
Yeah,
boots coming back.
yeah.
Because I think the last few years, brands are getting away from leather. They're trying to create the feeling of leather without using leather. And to be completely honest, it has not been great. Specifically with the King and the Tiempo,
10. Mm-hmm.
Legend 10, both not good, quote unquote, leather type boots. It looks like this year they figured it out. Both brands, based on what we've seen, they look a lot better. Specifically, this new King looks fantastic, both looks and upper wise.
Mm-hmm.
Very excited for that one. Honestly, I think it's the most excited I've been about a Puma King since the Puma King Platinum, which is saying a lot. Um, and then the Tiempo side, I think we were all very hesitant about Tiempo Maestro from the beginning, kind of going away from the legend name, kind of revamping, renaming, kind of giving a whole new life to this boot. But I will say these latest leaks, which looks like probably the final product, do look pretty damn good. And it has a lot of players switching over from other boots, which has to mean something. They have to be good, especially the biggest one. I think it was that we're recording on a Tuesday, so this was posted today. Phil Foden, who has
Yeah.
been a huge advocate for the GX/Phantom series, almost his whole career, or at least as long as the boot has been out. He has recently switched over to this quote unquote TIEMPO Maestro, even though they quote unquote took the Nike sign off. We're not stupid.
Yeah,
We
I
know
know.
that.
Yeah,
That's
right.
a fake Nike sign. So that honestly, I was like, okay, these look pretty solid. These look pretty solid. You have everyone that already wore the TIEMPO wearing them. Now you have players that didn't wear the TIEMPO before switching into this, like Arda Güler and Phil Foden now. And I'm like, okay, like if you have those players switching in from the Mercurial and the Phantom 6, like this has to be something good.
Right.
So very excited, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, same here, man. I'm like the more photos I see, like the more leaks that come out, like the more interested I am. And then the other thing I was interested in too is like with the Tiempo, like going back forever, has just been kind of like a neutral sole plate ride. You could argue that like maybe the like 789 kind of, like you get like blades in the back or whatever, and you have like some half conicals here and there, but this one looks like more aggressive than any Tiempo I've seen before. It kind of you've got your half conicals on there. You've got kind of like almost like some blades in the front, so it doesn't look super aggressive, but it's more aggressive than any Tiempo I think we've seen before.
Yeah.
And I think that could be two things, man. I think like at this point, Nike's like, if you want AG, we have an AG plate for you, and the AG plate's pretty good, right? So I think they're kind of going in that vein, kind of similar to like these and the Cyclone 360. If you don't want that, just buy.
Yep.
So I bet that's what we'll see, is like we'll see these kind of like LV8 releases where it's limited, you don't get the AG, but then you'll have like standard mainline releases, sort of like the other Nike products.
Yeah, I agree. And at first, when I saw the sole plate, I was like, "Damn, that sucks," because it like takes away from the Tiempo a little bit, in my opinion. But then when you think about it, it's gonna be the Tiempo Maestro. I feel like that sole plate does kind of encompass the combination of what a Tiempo and what the CTR Maestro was.
Yeah.
So I kind of do understand it, because that had kind of a neutral yet aggressive sole plate in the past in comparison to what the Tiempo was. And I agree with you with the fact that they have a very good AG option already that they're likely going to release with the standard inline colorways. I don't mind this route, and it looks like at least if you do want to go limited edition or do you want to go with the FG option, it still is going to be suitable for probably most AG pitches anyway. It doesn't look too aggressive. It kind of reminds me of the vibe of the current F50 sole plate, where you can kind of get away with it, even though they do have that AG option as well. It isn't like you're really like sacrificing or risking a super aggressive sole plate. It's more just toe pick studs or heel studs that usually don't get in the way when it comes to artificial grass. So I'm okay with it, but at the same time, if you want to be extra safe, go with the AG plate, of course, which will likely be available.
Yeah. And it'll be interesting too. Like I kind of do like the difference, like the subtle differences, right, that we're kind of seeing in boots that have AG now versus that don't have AG. And like Boot Wizard, just one of the people that does it the best, where he'll do his comparisons. But like even on a boot like the SKX, where I was watching his video in comparison to like the standard version, he was like, yeah, you get like maybe like just a bit of extra length in the toe. Like it just changes the fit here, where it might just like be a little bit wider. And so like hearing little subtle differences like that, and to have, it's almost like a customization option within the brand.
Exactly.
And obviously, like, you're going to get something safer out of AG, but like if it's something also that fits your foot better, that's just pretty cool.
That's true.
Do you think with these sort of, and I don't want to say the Copa for Adidas has been standard, but it has held to be the most sort of traditional like leather boot, because it's the only one that still has leather. Is it going to kind of fall under the excitement of like a newly released King or a Tiempo, especially if they're good? Like if they come back and the King is pretty good and the Tiempo, I wonder if that's going to pull like traditional leather people away. If for some reason they're like I'm gonna die on this, leather hill of I'm only gonna use the Copa because it's the only leather boot left, or they're
Yeah.
probably with Mizuno. Let's be real. But is it gonna get buried under all this like kind of newer hype?
I will be honest. I'm most worried about the Copa 4, just because it does seem it is like the most traditional, most, I don't want to say boring, but it
Yeah.
does kind of give off the most boring vibe out of the three. And if it does come down to the fact, if essentially if the King or or the Maestro are fantastic boots, I think people are going to give them a shot. I think people are going to be like, wow, this is synthetic and it's so good and it feels like leather. I think people are going to be more willing to try those and kind of get away from what are used to with the leather. Unless you're like a diehard leather fanatic and you like Adidas. I feel like most of the diehard leather, heads are going with Mizuno at this point. And if you're still on the Adidas train, this could be the Copa generation that you get off of it, honestly.
Yeah.
Specifically, since it seems like they're going back to a U-throat construction with the tongue and not the knit construction, which, to be completely honest, I think a lot of people liked the knit construction on the 3
Yeah,
in comparison
really
to
did,
the
yeah.
1 and 2. I know you did. I personally, I think I do. So that does kind of suck. It really just comes down to like how good it's going to be and how it's going to fit. The thing is, it's one of the boots where the sole plate's going to be the same. So fit and like tooling and all that likely is going to be the same. The only thing that might change is going to be leather and kind of like upper texture. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like unless it's really good and the slight tweaks make it even better, people are probably going to go with a King or a Tiempo this time.
Yeah, dude. And to be honest with you, like of those three, personally, I think I'm most excited for the King. And I don't know if it's because
I
Puma
agree.
hasn't had a good boot in a while, but like it looks good. Like it looks really good.
I agree.
So, but I mean, we'll have to see, and I'm sure there's going to be like plenty of review videos, coming up here because Adidas typically changes their lineup in December. So I'm sure we'll see Copas and Preds. Like I want to say in December of 24, dude, we had like Icon, Copa Pure 3, and then Pred 25. It was just like holy cow,
Yeah, I will say it's been a very slow, probably last 2 months for boots, other than 18 Puma packs that came out. But it does look like December is going to ramp up, and I am kind of excited. We have kind of all these releases that we're talking about that are projected to come out in December. We have the new Preds now that are confirmed to be coming out at the end of this month, thanks to a few accidental leaks and posts about it. And I think we have a few limited editions coming as well, with the first one that we've recently seen being the Spiders, which we notoriously a few months ago completely shit on based on the leaked pictures.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, because I feel like people probably know what I'm going to say about them. What do you think of the F50 Spider Goal Unisport collaboration now that they're released and everyone has kind of received them?
I think they look good, man. I think if it was one of those boots, like I knew there wouldn't be a Terraphon and I knew I would have a shot at getting, I would have probably tried to get a pair. But I remember kids in high school, because I'm old, having those boots, like not the white ones, but other color variations, whether it was like the gray or the black and blue. And like my parents didn't buy me high end boots back then, but like the nostalgia of seeing them and then kind of seeing them with comparisons of the old boots. I think, like, ironically, and not that it was a functional thing, but the old boots kind of did it better with the Velcro and like the laces. Like that's the only hang up I have on these boots is when I see them on feet and I see them with people, and it might not bother the people that actually own them. Like I know True Jesus and of course James and Andrew had them, so this might not be an issue. But when I see that top flap, just kind of like folding over, and I know they did the laces in a way where it's supposed to bring it tighter to your foot. I'm like, could they have gotten like a piece of Velcro or just something to kind of hold that down? But that's my only thing. Everything else of the boot looks gorgeous, and people that have them really like it. And I like the F50 sole plate, so it seems like a match made in heaven of all those things combined, which is ironic that we thought it was, this boot's gonna be shit. It looks like shit, and like of course it's like this amazing product. So like hats off to it. And then the box that everybody got was pretty cool too.
Very cool. I agree. Yeah, I mean, I'm very excited about these. I did not get a pair. I wanted to get a pair. I dropped the ball. I also am not too mad at myself because I would have had to pay tariffs and all that stuff. So there's supposed to be another colorway coming out that you may or may not have seen, but I will probably try to get those. We'll see, depending on the price. If it's crazy, probably not. But I might try to get that colorway when it comes out. But we've also recently heard that they're doing one more leather predator and one more and well, not one more leather predator and also a leather F50 standard, not like the spider variation, like a standard leather F50 to end the year. So that also has me very excited. I don't know about you. I know the colorway that is leaked is black and that is not your favorite, but if it was a different colorway, what do you think of these boots? Would you try leather F50?
Dude,
I know you've had your issues, but
it's almost like, and Justin's talked about this before, it's like almost paralysis of like too many options, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like in the back of my head, I'm like, I really want to try this King. And in limited editions like that, like leather, are so tempting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know it's going to be like $300. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like any limited edition that's leather at 50 is going to be like 300. I think we got lucky this year with the remakes of, like, the only remake that I thought was kind of cost effective was the Hypervenoms, which was like maybe like 250. But anything I think Adidas has produced, whether it's like all the MIGs in the F50s, has been like up, a high price. So I think I'm just going to wait, dude. I think even if they were a different color, I think even if they were white, I still really just want to try either the Kings, the TIEMPOs, or the Ducopas. Like that's what my brain is really, going for right now.
Yeah, I honestly, like, even though I'm kind of like Mr. Limited Edition, Mr. Leather out of this podcast, I feel like I agree with you on this one because based on what we've seen recently, as far as limited editions goes, selling wise, specifically the Obsidian Strike Predators, you could still get almost every single size for essentially $100 less.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, over 100. It's like $155 you could pick these up now at most retailers, which is wild. And I will be completely honest, I think I see that happening with these next two.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to have maybe the F50 sells out just because it's a completely new kind of leather variation that we haven't gotten before. But I can see them kind of sitting on shelves and then going on sale. So I might kind of go that route. And I think I'm prioritizing at this point kind of the new releases or the boots that I haven't already picked up, like the SKX2. And because I really do want to get those in before the end of the year, because I do think those have potential to be boot of the year. Just like, you obviously have said that.
Okay.
If you've seen Boot Wizard's new video that came out today, he is saying top 5 of the year with that AG specific one. So it has me intrigued. Everyone says it feels like a Magista Ober 1, which is one of my favorite boots of all time.
It's so like it's hard to explain. Like it's one of those boots where it wraps my foot perfectly. Like the touch on the ball is great. There's just enough grip where it doesn't really screw you up. The sole plate's fantastic. It's one of those boots. And the lockdown's great too. And like whatever they've got going on here with like the heel padding and the way it kind of holds your foot in place and like the grip on the insole, it's great. But yeah, it's one of those boots where when it's on my feet, I forget that it's on my feet, and those are the best boots you can have. Yeah, it's the best feeling. Man, I was gonna keep going. Oh, I didn't want to lose my train of thought on this because you had brought up the Obsidian Strikes and how they're still like on sale and readily available. Do you think so? Last year at this time, the David Beckhams came out, and like those sold out quick. People wanted that colorway, and then the hype around like Beckham going out, putting the Preds on, taking the free kicks again. Do you think they screwed up with the sort of marketing for the Obsidian Strike and as well as like the colorway? Like say
100%.
Like the Obsidian Strike were if they'd flipped it, if the Obsidian Strike this year were kind of the Beckhams and it was that white blue and they kind of had him behind it, if they had marketed it, or even if they had marketed it a different way, if they had done like an all silver Pred leather with Beckham, Like I wonder if that's the reason they're still sitting there.
I 100% agree, because if you think of the 24s last year, both Rotero, Beckham's, both had a story, both were exciting, both had other things outside of the boot going on with the release. So you weren't just buying the product, you're buying the story, you're buying the nostalgia with the Rotero, you're buying the story behind Beckham with his trefoil logo that he's been asking for forever, that he finally got to do with the leather tongue. It was a little bit different.
Yeah.
So and with that fucking awesome box, you got an experience with your purchase, which is why, like, even when I got the Beckhams, and then, you know, it was like a month or two until the 25 came out, I was still excited about those when I had them, knowing the 25 was coming out. This go around, the Obsidian Strike was just a colorway.
Right.
They completely dropped the ball. I don't understand, like, to go from Rotero and Beckham and then be like, oh, we're going to release a Teamgeist and it's not going to be leather.
Dude, I was about to say that.
Like,
yeah,
when the Teamgeist came out, we said that, like, this should have been leather.
This should have been leather. Yep.
Or the what was the other one? The like the Moment Spread. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Or that one. One of those should have been leather, and I think they would have instantly sold out.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And to get one at that point, so that was what, the Teamgeist was like June. To get one in June, which is about the time that Rotero came out last year, and then to get one now, I think would have been enough time where it made sense to have two different leather options that came out. Now it's like they're going to release this leather one, and the fucking Obsidian Strikes are still on sale. Like, they're still there, they're still available. So, like, if you wanted a leather one, and it's also going to be black based on the leaks, if you wanted a black leather pred, just get the fucking Obsidian Strike for half off. Right. At this point, like, it's so dumb, and I'm frustrated because I don't understand how they could absolutely knock it out of the park last year and then completely drop the ball on arguably one of the best boots of this year.
Yeah.
Like, people are not trying it, and if it goes on sale more than $150, you absolutely have to. Absolutely have to. I don't care if you footloose it and completely change the colorway and paint over it with silver and make it look significantly better. It is worth it because those boots are absolutely fantastic, but they dropped the ball. If it was a Teamgeist, I think it sells out instantly, and people probably talk about it for years, because I think the only thing better than the Rotero this year would have been the Teamgeist 26 leather print.
Dude,
I think that would have been
Teamgeist.
That would have been a boot we talked about for years.
With the logo,
honestly.
Dude, it would have been so good. It would have been so good. Come on, Adidas, you were so close. Like, they were so close. And I do think,
what a rant.
Like, the 25 was definitely better than the 24, and, like, of course, like, the Obsidian Strike leather is better, but it's almost like they don't have the same, like, hype behind everything this year, or maybe people just got fatigued. But yeah, I feel like they had it, and then it just kind of. So I think 2026, if this future is better and the King is better, like, perhaps, and the TIEMPO's better, perhaps the people that have been so hyped on Adidas the last, like, year and a half kind of go with the other brands, which will be very interesting. And if Skechers finally gets to America, like, that'll be very, very good as well. So yeah.
I will say I'll give Adidas its flowers while I can. They did give us an AG leather pred.
Yeah. True.
So I got to give them some credit there. But yeah, everything else I said still applies. But I agree with you. I think if Puma actually did stuff and listened to people, and not only is this King, but honestly, I don't know anything about this King other than the fact of how it looks. I guarantee you it's better at this point.
Has to be.
There's no way it looks like this and it's not better. So I'm going to assume going into prior to this release, it's better. If they did the same thing with the Future, and if it's at least a quarter of a percentage better than the previous Future 8, I think everyone's going to be happy. And then they could do a complete overhaul next go around, and give us something that, might be exciting again. I feel like they just need to get back to baseline and then go from there. And as long as they do that, I think a lot of people are going to be happy. And I think the people that, love Puma or are behind the Future train might buy into it. I don't think it's going to be me, but I do, from the looks of the leaks, they look kind of like a retro Future, which is a good thing.
Yeah,
So,
it is a good thing. Absolutely. Matt, I think we hit everything. Is there anything that you want to talk about before we get out of here?
Oh, Sakito has officially confirmed the AG Scudetta is on the way.
There you
They
go,
did
which
not
you've
give a
been
date,
waiting on.
but it is on the way very, very soon, according to their Instagram page. I've been waiting over a year for this fucking boot. So I am very excited for this. One of my boots of the year last year, with the only caveat being the sole plate. So I'm very, very excited to see what this AG option brings. From the looks of it, they put a lot of time and effort into this. Obviously, they originally leaked it, I think about a year ago, maybe
Hmm.
9 months. And they have been going through iterations and iterations to make it perfect, which I completely respect. And I'm glad they just didn't give us something just to give us something. So I am very excited. I know a lot of other people are very excited about this too. You can sign up for updates if you would like. I think it's on their website or on the Instagram page. So just go search them on Instagram or go to their website. You can get email updates for when this is coming. There is no official date currently, but very, very soon. I'm guessing probably before the end of the year, if I had to guess. So again, the end of the year is going to suck. I feel like I'm going to spend so much money on boots, but
Yeah, there's a lot of money.
yeah.
Yeah, well,
But I
cool.
think that's it. I think that's it.
Awesome, man. Well, where can the people find you at?
You can find me at Burns_boots on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
You guys can find me at Kicking with Kolbs on Instagram and thewashpros.com. Come see what t-shirts I'm selling. So, all right, guys. Well, been a great podcast, and Justin will return next week with us.